It's like a
Yeah,
culture. Shopping
yeah,
is like a part of
it's a cultural thing. Yeah. Being from America, I've never fully identified with that over there. And it's also not that keeping up with the Joneses that we had that effect when they see other people's lifestyles, what they
yeah.
have. And like, you're like, I don't have that. I have this void here.
They are shaping and manipulating our perspectives of like how we see the world. It's very predatory and very like scary and dangerous if you think about it. Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but that's where it is good. It's called micro. I just learned about it the other day, micro targeting, where they know your movements based on your phone, because your phone is tracking all your movements. And I think certain types of movements, they know, oh, that indicates this, this, and this. We should serve them this product when they open Instagram again.
Going into on I-5, going like Oregon, Washington, it's gets backed up like rush hour it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
not like in LA. Not like in LA. Definitely has its I mean any time of the day anymore it seems like there's traffic.
yeah, you're driving from a major city. I mean, that is like one of the most major cities, right, in the state. There's nothing else in Oregon, really. It's just Portland.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, what else is there? You got Bend. I've heard about Bend. Heard Bend's pretty
Bend
cool.
is nice. It's very nice, yeah. It's cool. I got like there's a nice river you can camp on, and they have the mountains and stuff surrounding it. So it's a nice backdrop. Yeah, it's very nice. Very pretty.
Yeah, but going back to LA, I've actually never been, but I've only heard about the traffic there. Like I've heard it's like where you need to drive like, I don't know, 5 miles or something like that, which normally takes, what does that take? Like 15 minutes, 10 minutes normally without traffic.
Probably something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then but I've heard that can like get up to like an hour
Well, yeah,
plus.
easily.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
gridlock.
then you try to use the they try to use the side streets. Everybody's doing the same thing, so then you're stuck in that traffic.
Everyone's trying to use the same fucking strategy. You're like, I got a fucking genius idea right now.
I'm gonna
And
take
it's like
this
everyone
road
else.
and go that way.
Yeah, but you're doing this and then this and then this. And then in the end, if you just sat in the track, usually it actually is shorter.
Better, yeah. Instead of trying to,
Yeah. I've
taking detours to get around, yeah.
taking detours, and I've never had a strong desire to really go to LA. I think I flew into the airport once, but I've never actually really walked around the city.
Mhm.
Just hasn't been on the top of my list. I won't lie.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool like there's cool things to do and see there for sure. I mean it's pretty big.
Yeah, very sprawled.
Very sprawled.
Very sprawled out. Like where I'm from Houston, so like it's a similar setup, just sprawl, freeways, billboards, and then it just sprawls further out into the suburbs, and you're just driving most of the day to get around there.
Yep. Which is crazy because hey, welcome everybody. That's kind of what we're talking about today, but how like with consumerism and how like the automobile industry kind of like pushed a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean that's tied into like how the fabric of the US is set up when it comes to infrastructure is tied into basically automobile manufacturers and politicians getting together and be like, this is what we need to transform America into so that they use the car. Like mainly, like what are the few cities left? There's just New York, Chicago, sort of. Portland, kind of. It's kind of a nice walkable city, but if you're driving in Portland, as you said, it fucking sucks.
Yeah. It sucks. But yeah, there's like neighborhoods, right? So
I like
you gotta
that.
have to like drive to the neighborhoods, but once you're in the neighborhood, then you have that usually like a street where you can like walk down the street, shops, restaurants. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Definitely like some cool little spots, parks, things like that.
There's some cities that are kind of having a resurgence of that, of like basically trying to reduce the sprawl and all the freeways and try to bring it back to more of a traditional city with districts and mixed use buildings of like apartments above and below. You got coffee shops. So there's some cities that are actually going back to that. One of them I saw recently was about Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, interesting.
Booming apparently right now, booming faster than a lot of cities you'd think. I don't know if it's like number 1 or 2, but it's up there of like the fastest growing cities right now.
Okay.
But they are doing that pretty well, where they're kind of restructuring things to make it more of that type of, I don't know, that connection with the city. I talk about it, you talk about it. Right. Yeah. You can like be in it, walk around and go do your things without having to get into a car for every little activity, which is nice.
Yeah, I think there's, what is it, the 15-minute cities that they want to design or construct where everything's within a 15-minute walking distance. All your
I've never heard of
necessities.
that.
Oh yeah, there's a
I like that though. I like that concept. 15-minute city.
yeah 15-minute city where you can, yeah, all your necessities, everything is within a 15-minute walk, and you
Oh,
can like, yeah. But
yeah.
then there are like those, I guess, on the other side that kind of say like that then can, if that's the case, then that city or that area, like they kind of control or own what you consume or what you do, right? Because
Right.
you're only limited to that.
Right. Right. I guess there's the downside of that. I would
Right.
prefer that downside though than because when I was growing up, like LA, Houston's a very similar. When I was growing up, everything you wanted to do, you had to get in a car. Every single thing. If
Yeah.
you wanted to go just to the maybe just to go to the gas station or the corner store, is there's no corner store really in the suburb down the street. You have to
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta.
and you go out of the subdivision, right, to get on the collector road with everyone else, and you all sit at the light together. I'm like, I just wanted to go get a fucking candy bar, and I got to go get my car
Yeah.
to
Takes
do
20
that.
minutes just to get onto the main road to like
Yeah,
get where you're going. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta
yeah,
time. It's a lot of like timing when you're driving
yeah,
and there's traffic. You gotta time it out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's why I've been kind of not really into cars most of my life.
You're
Most
not you're just a
guys I
car
know,
guy. I
yeah,
can
like
see you, big car guy.
yeah, big car guy. Most guys I know though, like for the most part in the States are car guys. Like
Okay.
they like cars. They like to buy cars and get the next car.
Right. You gotta get the next one. And you
The
gotta
next
keep up. Yep.
yeah, where people are trading in their cars when they're underwater, which is like basically where their equity is negative.
Hmm.
They have negative, and they keep rolling it over into new financing to get the new car, and you just keep
Right,
going
right.
further and further and further to keep up with
With
something.
what? The illusion? It's
The
like the
illusion.
illusion of being, yeah. Because it's usually just for like status or to like kind of, or ego, or like, I don't know, like what drives those people to want to have the newest best thing.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of connects into the theme of today, really around consumerism. And why does it connect into that? It's a great question. I mean, really, it kind of goes back to the programming that we have in the education system. It's part of it.
That's kind of where it started, yeah.
Yeah, you had Rockefeller and another guy, I forgot his name, that kind of basically designed our education system to produce workers, not people that think independently. It's just a straight quote from the fucking guy. He's like, yeah, we don't want creative thinkers, independent
Yeah,
thinkers.
yeah.
This was
Uh-huh.
back in the early 10s, I think, somewhere around there, or maybe early
Easily.
1900s, something like that. So they designed it that way so
Right,
that
right.
when you go through the system, you produce good workers that don't think for themselves, really.
Hmm.
And that allows yeah, obviously businesses to
Right.
profit off of that and then moves people into buying stuff, really. So I think it comes back to the programming.
Hmm.
And then in America, it's amplified to a crazy degree. The stat to start with here is just unbelievable. This stat is so interesting to me. So Americans make up 4% of the global population, but account for 33% of global consumer spending. So imagine that.
Was
You
it
have,
third? Okay, go ahead.
I was just saying, imagine you have 100 people
Mm.
and you have four of them that spend a third of everyone. That's basically what America is.
Right.
The entire world, entire world. So we
Yes,
spend more than any other country by far.
by far. Yeah, by far. And it's a lot of consuming of like new goods and different things, or the newest and latest.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of that has to do with like planned obsolescence. Is that planned
Yeah,
obsolescence?
that's part of it. That came back in the same period when the programming happened in the plan education system. The planned obsolescence came kind of around that same time period with the Ford Motor Company,
Mm-hmm.
Model T, and they started realizing that concept back then of like, if we make it too good and it lasts for too long, we don't have repeat customers. That's a problem.
Problem, because it's just for profit.
Yeah,
It's all
planned
about, yeah.
obsolescence.
And that too was with like the light bulb, because they made a light bulb that was
Right.
going to last for like thousands of
Right.
hours, and then they capped it at a certain point because they're like,
Early on. That was when they pushed Tesla out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Nikola Tesla, like the guy, not Elon. Everyone, it's a different dude. Okay, Elon just took the
the
name.
original. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet you people don't really know about Tesla. I think probably when they hear that word, they think of Elon's car company.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's been, yeah, because I mean, you see that, hear that more than you do of Nikola Tesla. You have to kind of dig deep for that.
You have to dig deep for that guy. And he was part of that light bulb. I remember he did find us, well, I forget the name of the type of electricity where it was basically you could last forever,
Hmm.
essentially. But then they realized that the other ones that had the light bulbs, are like, well, then we can't sell more if it lasts forever. We have to
Right,
have it end so that people go back and buy more of it.
right, right. Whereas, yeah, Nikola Tesla was more of like free energy for everybody because he basically kind of discovered um, through like he's built those towers that go up and you see the elect. Have you ever seen those?
I have. I don't know the names of what they're really
Yeah, yeah,
called.
but there's those towers and you see the electricity coming up. But he found out how to like pull from the earth, like
Mm.
the
Some sort of
electrical.
natural resource that could be used
Exactly.
for
Right,
everyone.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you could like basically put a rod in the ground and have like electricity.
Mm. From probably from the Earth's what a magnetic something. I'm not a scientist, but I imagine he's using something natural the Earth already produces. He just
Exactly, because
harnesses
it
it.
has its own, yep, it has its own electric field, its own energy that you can kind of like tap into and use. And then others were like, yeah, but we're not going to profit from that. So let's go this route. We'll
Yeah.
make cars and light bulbs that don't last forever and
And then you have to go and buy
then
more because repeat
iPhones.
customers is everything for a business. So if you basically remove that part of the business, it's not a real business. Really, you're not going to make money. So they had to like make things plan to break or plan to fail, right? Like you know how Apple does with their
Hmm.
iPhones, all the software. It's like, oh, you have iOS 12, we're on 20 now. You can't. Our software just doesn't
Yep.
work with it. It's like
You gotta download the latest, yeah. And
until
then
you
you're
can't
until you can't, yeah, then you have to go get a new phone because
get a new one.
but
Yeah.
yet I don't. I feel like the phone I have now would last years if I didn't have to keep updating. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
I mean the technology is there. Like it's a fine phone, but like over time, the battery drains. It's slower. Those things happen where you're like, okay, now I guess I have to get a new phone because it's been 3 years.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like I guess it's been 3 years, so I have to go and do it now. It's like technically kind of don't. My brother has been really good about not doing that. He wears that thing down until it's just unusable, essentially, which is kind of funny. Which, I don't know. It's kind of his own way of protesting the bullshit,
Yeah, I mean,
basically.
yeah, I mean, I kind of do the same. Until you can't really until it's not really usable or it becomes or annoying. Then I mean, yeah,
Yeah, but I think he's willing to deal with it when it doesn't turn on or he can't type on it. There's been times I can't text right now. I got to call kind of thing because
uh,
like yeah. So it's like he has those kind of situations where I'm like, okay, man, maybe it is time to probably just go ahead and get a
okay,
new one.
yeah. Okay, well, that sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, which I stand firm with that too. I'm obviously not into buying shit. I never really have. Being from America, I've never fully identified with that over there. It is definitely an American thing, for sure.
It's like a
Yeah,
culture. Shopping
yeah,
is like a part
it's a cultural thing. Yeah, and living internationally, I'm not saying they don't buy here, but it's not the same level of consumption, and it's also not that keeping up with the Joneses that we had that effect we have over there. Where I think it really permeates through like Instagram. They see other people's lifestyles, what they
yeah.
have, and like they're like, I
Mm,
don't have that. I have this void here, and then we'll talk about this here in a bit as far as how good the advertising's getting. There's
mhm.
another video I watched around this. I'm not sure if you caught it, but it's getting scary with the level of advertising now that's available because of the amount of data that companies have on you. It's called micro targeting,
Mhm.
where it's no longer just like straight demographics. Oh, okay, male age
Right.
25 to
Well, they know
40s, income.
everything about you now.
They know that last week, maybe you got in a car accident, right? And maybe you had to go to the shop or whatever. That data can now get collected somehow. Those day-to-day micro data where they can now serve you ads that is based on super super specific things
Right.
to your life.
Right. So then you start seeing like ads for lawyers or like right? To help with,
Yeah.
or
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
so scary.
automate. I don't know, but it's just, yeah, they can narrow down your daily tasks and even down to
Yes.
like your movements
Yeah, movements will affect it as well based on where you're at. And if
and what you're
they've tracked,
doing.
yeah, they've tracked it down to that. Like if I'm trying to think of an example of a movement one. I did see that where, God, that's terrifying, where they know your movements based on your phone because your
Yeah.
phone is tracking all your movements. And I think
So
certain types of movements, they know, oh, that indicates this, this, and this. We should serve them this product when they open Instagram again.
you see like a pair of sneakers, running shoes, or like
Right.
right, or workout gear, or like weights or something, and you're just like, oh yeah, or like a gym ad or something, and you're
Sure.
like their
It's
ad,
predatory.
it's very predatory, and they are shaping and manipulating our perspectives of like how we see the world,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's
Right. I mean,
been very like scary and dangerous if you think about it, because then you'll like think of something like, I want a, I don't know, ice cream or something, and then you're like, oh, McDonald's, or like Dairy Queen, like, but then you saw it like 7 times the week prior or whatever, and you didn't even know it, but it's just been there, kind of like accumulating and accumulating. And eventually, you're just like, oh, that sounds good, I'm gonna do that. But
yeah,
it
no,
really like your thought to begin with,
you knowing your patterns, knows your
right?
patterns, knows your purchasing patterns, and it also knows it's a few steps ahead of you. So, for
Yeah.
example, if you're getting bombarded with Dairy Queen ads and you go and get yourself a Blizzard, they're gonna know based on your movements. Oh, you just probably went to Dairy Queen, and I'm gonna serve you an ad about 30 minutes later for a gym membership. Right? Right?
Right? Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It sounds crazy, but that's where it is good. It's called micro. I just learned about it the other day, micro targeting, where that, because I'm in that area, I'm in that industry, right? And the level of data points we already have is a little bit alarming. And now we're getting even granular with like day to day and like very hyper specific to that individual, that person, knowing
Mm,
that person in and out.
yeah,
Something else I found interesting, going back kind of the history of how we got here, was that early days, right? You got Rockefeller, you got
I found it.
Henry Ford, and then you got a few, but you have what moved into basically, he's the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Have you done this before? I remember we messed up
Yeah,
the name
yeah, yeah.
once.
Barney
No, I was thinking of something, but no, his name is Bernays. Bernays is
Bernays.
kind of the godfather of like what they say, the godfather of propaganda, essentially. A lot
Mm,
of his ideas and things stemmed from the propaganda that happened during for World War II. And a lot of him and many other advertisers that were doing propaganda during World War II basically graduated to become marketers because it makes sense. It's a similar type of thing. You're selling something for someone to believe in something, right?
very good.
So a lot of their techniques they used during the war, they just like graduated it to products, essentially.
Right. However, at that time, with like World War II and all of that, the marketing was easier because it was like it was there. They needed it, so it was just
Yeah.
it became, that was the thing. But then afterwards, they had to create products or create demand for really luxury items at that time, like what is
Mm,
commonly known as like, just like everyday things for us that's convenient, like a fridge, a couch, a washer, a
right.
dryer. Those were like luxury items back then. I don't know
Right.
washer dryer by then, but like a fridge and those things would cost you like, a few $100s, but that would be like thousands of dollars back then
Yeah.
compared.
Inflated. Yeah. Whatever that number is now. Right.
Yeah, and now we have surplus of things. You can choose different models and years and this and that to like match where your price point is. But before, yeah, all that stuff was more luxury than anything.
Yeah. It connects with World War II because I know they were producing lots of obviously weapons and different things like that in factories for the war. And when the war
Hmm.
ended, those factories are kind of empty. So they had to kind of move production over into something. A lot of them got reused for production now of more products, right, for people to
Right.
consume. And that was kind of right around the time that began the credit system in
Mm-hmm.
that era, 50s, 60s, 70s, like where people, it started the idea of like, oh, if you don't have it, like the money, don't worry. You can
Mm-hmm.
just finance it. You can do it on credit. So dangerous that was introduced.
I
I'm
think
not
it
saying
was
credit's
Ford.
bad for everything, but we've taken it too far.
Too far, yeah. I think it was Ford that started, because you could buy a vehicle and they would credit it by Ford, or like they would basically, and then you would have
Payment plans. Yeah.
payment plans. So that, I think that's kind of where it started, was around that
Yeah.
time.
Started there. And then it obviously, kind of fast forward, we had, propaganda in World War II, which basically easily transitioned over into modern advertising techniques that are being used to this day. And I'm not here to say like, oh my God, every company is evil. They're all doing this and that to trick us into buying things. I think there are many brands and products out there that are great, and I'd be happy to sponsor them. Hint, hint right now. Hint, hint. Okay. Help us. No, I'm kidding. We might have sponsors in the future, but if it's a brand I believe in and a product that I feel very, very comfortable recommending, I'll do it. I just think it's not like that anymore. It's about how can we get a money grab with a lot of companies. And in the end, is the product actually serving the customer well? It depends. It depends.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's just crazy how it's gone from, you can see like how at the start of like, well, the end of the war up until this point of like how, well, it started with, what was the movement, the women's march movement with the
Yeah,
cigarette.
yeah. It's Lucky Strike. They were having issues selling cigarettes to women. It was mainly
Yeah.
a man demographic one,
Right.
and they
Right.
had to figure out a way to do it. And that's when they hired the Bernays guy. Bernays came
Right.
in,
And that's, yeah, that just kind of like started that whole thing. And then from there,
exploded.
yeah, yeah,
Very
exploded.
successful campaign. I mean, really, he turned it into like before it was a woman was not feminine, if she didn't smoke. Or when she
Uh-huh.
smoked, she wasn't feminine is the whole thing. And that's why women were
Right.
like, eh. And then he flipped it on basically, it's kind of genius as a marketer. He's like, women's rights, equality.
Mm.
And he turned it into a cigarette and now turns into a torch of freedom.
That's right.
Same product.
Right. Right.
Same
Yeah.
product. Same product. And that's the power of marketing, right? Really good marketing. You know the person's needs, desires, wants, and you know how to basically shape the product to fulfill what they're already looking for. It's good, but it's also super manipulative.
Yeah, because it hit the emotional level of like, yeah, how you feel. Yeah.
That was what happened. He moved it all into emotion essentially, and it's sold. I mean, it was a very successful campaign. So that's really good that he did that. So all women can smoke cigarettes. We can all be equal and
Yeah.
die
And then you
the same death.
and then you see women in ads smoking with like they're pregnant and like saying how it like helps them stay thin while they're pregnant. You're like, no,
Yeah.
no, let's not do that.
I saw one of those ads. Yeah, she was just basically fully pregnant, just smoking and be like, yeah, keeps me thin. Keeps me thin, keeps my child healthy.
Yeah, I gotta stay thin while I'm pregnant.
Yeah, right. What the fuck, by the way? That's
Yeah,
such a crazy idea. You're like, why do you need to be thin? It's okay. You're
yeah, that
you're
was.
you're giving a child a home.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to be thin when you're.
Yeah, now that's gotten way where that's a whole kind of side topic of like that actually does connect to one thing here as I was watching some of this stuff is that going back to kind of how going obviously from the war all the way to now how advanced the data points are. And I saw a clip on basically what's happening now. It's starting to roll out. It's called dynamic advertising, I think, is what we're referring to, where they have the micro data points on each person, and it's dynamic ads based on what the person wants. They're rolling it out on all social media platforms. It's still kind of in beta, but it's going to happen, people. It's going to get real good.
Well, not.
And
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but one thing on that, which was interesting, and it's pretty horrible, is that they're now taking advantage of your activity on social media. For example, they used like of a teenage girl, right? And she posts a selfie or posts or whatever on Instagram, and maybe she gets a few negative comments or whatever. She doesn't feel good about the photo, and she'll delete it. The app knows of what you did. You posted a selfie, it knows that, and then it knows you deleted it pretty soon after. So most likely it does know. Most likely it's going to go ahead and serve you an ad to make you feel beautiful. So it'll serve you like maybe a makeup ad or serve you an ad on something to make you feel more beautiful because it knows what emotional state you're in after deleting that selfie. Pretty crazy.
That is very crazy. Yeah, it might send you makeup or supplements or
It's
weight loss.
alarming. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Weight loss. Yeah, that's another one it sent. Yeah.
yeah. Found this what I was thinking of earlier. It has to do with kind of the predatory advertising things.
Yeah.
So Delta, the airline's Delta.
That's so funny. I think I saved this too. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Fucking cool minds think alike. I think I know what this is.
Yeah, they want to set their prices as high as possible using AI. So
So
based
funny.
on your activity and like how, yeah, when you buy and when like it knows your activity and it knows, yeah, so it can like adjust the prices based off of that and then the data and
Yeah.
they can raise the prices. Yeah, it sounds very illegal.
I literally I read that same thing this morning. I was like, that's a good topic for
Right.
the pod.
And right now it's only so last year it was like 1% of their sales. Right now it's at 3%, but the CEO wants it at 100%.
Yeah.
Like
Why not? And they're
think
adjusting pricing based on the person's activity, behavior, past purchasing decisions, because they know, oh, this person maybe is in this bracket, so they can afford this
mhm.
price. And I'll start. That does sound illegal. That sounds like price discrimination, is what it sounds like through
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know they try to defend it around. They're like, no, it's
No,
just based on how you travel, and we want to make sure you're serving the right things at the right. It's about money. Don't you
no.
get it twisted?
Yeah. It's always yeah, that anytime a company sells you some sort of pitch or their values or their morals or all of that, it's all behind all that, it's just a smokescreen and it's all about the profit.
Always,
What
always. Yeah, they're trying to like convey the value of like family,
yeah, they want
community,
to yeah.
and what's it called? I love the car commercials that are for
Merc.
because they're
Yeah.
for either they're for the man, right, which is like Dodge Ram, F-250 or whatever it's Dodge
Him.
Ford, whatever F-50. Now it comes with the extra lift, so you were 2 feet above the ground. Now you're 5, and it's way
Yeah,
better.
yeah. You got
Yeah,
way up top.
you
You're
can
looking down
dominate
at people.
fucking people on the fucking. You're just like on the freeway like this and just
Just
like
looking down at
smashing
them.
over
What up, boy?
cars.
Like what was it? Ventura, the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's just going down. What was the song he was singing? Uh,
I forget.
yeah, yeah.
I
I'm thinking
forget.
of Mockingbird, but that's from Dumb and
That's also a great movie. Dumb and Dumber, guys, check it out. It's a new flick that just came out
He just came out back in
30
1994.
years ago. Still holds up.
Oh yeah.
Great
Although
movie.
if you watch the unedited version, it's a
It's
little.
better.
It makes sense
It
for some
does.
reason,
It
but
starts to piece things together that might have been gaps when you watched it in the
yeah,
theater.
but
There's
it's
a
just
reason why there were gaps. They didn't put certain
yeah,
things in. Watch the
yeah,
director's cut, people. It's good.
yeah. But then you watch the other like the you know why, and it's like okay, this is better.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, the big because I see that a lot where I'm from in the South. The huge trucks, the ones that are lifted. It is a ladder, like to get in. Like you need a ladder to like climb up in because it's so high up.
Are they like shorter guys or is it?
Not usually, but there is something to that. I mean, all the advertising for the trucks, it hits right on every point. You got first, it usually opens up with like an eagle
Yeah,
flying.
the American flag.
It's super America, which you're like, fucking yeah, Eagle. You're like, are you a man? You're like, I am a man. Like, he got me. I'm hooked.
Last,
I'm hooked
last,
in. Like,
yeah,
yeah, and it's always the truck driving up. It's driving up a huge
yeah,
fucking
and it's just
mountain.
like
Yeah, just rocks and animals just getting
yeah,
sprayed
yeah.
out. You're like, well,
Like who
yeah,
drives this?
who's driving this? Yeah, it's a very reckless driver. But yeah, he's just
Woman
driving in the
stops
mountains.
and like pulls out her helmet. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and you can haul whatever the fuck you want through the mountains, and it's completely fine. And at the end, you can go
Daily
and build that home that you want to do with your hands. You're a real man, right?
with your hands.
Yeah, I was around that all the time, especially in Texas. A big truck advertising like all the fucking time there, and
Hmm.
I never understood it. Never identified with it. I always felt like the truck ads just were trying way too.
You could see right through it. You
And
just
they're trying to make, in a way, they are trying to make you feel like inadequate, like less than if you don't buy
mhm.
this, because it's like, are you not an American? Like, We just showed you it driving through the American hills. There was eagles flying and everything, and big American flag on the back. It's
And the
like
diesel
you're not
gas like shooting out.
diesel gas. Yeah, yeah, getting
Booms.
like 5 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always found that funny. It's like you're really pushing. Like, do I need this to be a man?
It wouldn't hurt, right? I'm just kidding.
Right? You gotta have two,
Me
maybe
too,
three.
yeah.
Yeah, if you don't, that's another issue going on with the car shit. There is people have multiple when they don't need multiple. They
Oh,
just have
right.
multiple, and your car payments are insane these days. Obviously, with that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird idea of that we are kind of always chasing that over there in the States, and it's not like just only the States. I'm not excluding other countries. We're just kind of the worst with the consumerism and always buying and always need that next thing. And now you got Amazon. Amazon comes in and fulfills all your needs, essentially. You don't even have to move anymore. It just delivers to your home.
Yeah, but then it could be same day,
Yeah.
depending on where you're at. But yeah, at least within a few days, it's there, and you're like, didn't have to go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting going back to some of the history. I don't know if you remember like reading up on Bernays, right? We keep talking about this guy Bernays. He's
Right.
the nephew of Sigmund Freud, so he knows psychology.
Brainchild of all this,
And
basically.
the Lucky Strike thing was big. That was a big thing for I guess in his career. Another big thing, I don't know if you caught this, was the traditional American breakfast, how it started. Yeah, where the goal, he was advertising for a meat company and they weren't selling enough bacon and pork and those types of meats. And I mean, he, again, manipulative, but in his defense, he's a good marketer. And he comes in and basically his goal was to shift people's mindset around breakfast and what is a nutritional breakfast. And God, this is crazy. He basically goes and he needs to sell pork, right? So he's like, okay, I need to make this palatable for the American public where they want to eat this every morning.
Right,
So
because the pork industry was declining.
Right.
At that time. So he was coming in to help. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he basically he consulted one doctor, and said, basically asking him lots of these leading questions around, a heavier breakfast, right, full of fat, protein. You need a bigger breakfast, right, in the morning, because if you don't, you're going to lose a lot of energy throughout the day, which is not true, by the way. But he's like, we need to create this somehow, basically this idea, so that people will eat this in the morning. So he goes and consults a doctor and kind of asks him these questions. And the doctor's kind of like, I mean, yeah, you'll have more energy. Like, okay. He's like, would you be willing to write to 5,000 other doctors to get a similar opinion?
Right.
And the doctor said, sure. And they did that. And then now they have this medical backed evidence. And I put that in quotes because the doctor he hired, he was a physician, but he was technically hired and paid for the advertising campaign, basically.
Right.
And that shifted through that advertising process that he did with all of that. It shifted everyone to basically be eating eggs and bacon for breakfast, because that's the American breakfast. That's what you're supposed to be eating in the morning. Unbelievable. Changing like everyone's views on such a fundamental thing.
Breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really interesting, and how basically the way that he, I guess, sold it too. It wasn't saying like, because it wasn't mentioned eggs and bacon. You needed to eat eggs and bacon. The question to the doctor that he sent to all those other doctors was
Right.
if a heavier breakfast is more nutritious for for each
It's
day.
such a leading question. It's like, well, kind of.
It's all kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be better than.
He's like, would you be willing to vouch for that? I can put that on an ad somewhere. 5,000 doctors approve.
Very
Yeah.
manipulative in the ways that he did the marketing,
Yeah.
which is now how you see all these other companies basically adopted this whole mindset and have used it in different tactics since then on the American people, not just the American people, like across the world. I mean, it's permeated everywhere.
It's
like
everywhere.
It's the new standard, I guess, as far as like what we consume and what we see, because like you have to like see and hear it and know about it before you actually like consume and purchase.
Yeah, it's the awareness stage of advertising. Like you have to be aware of it first before they can create the interest and the desire and then the action.
And it takes like 7 touch points before you're willing to like make that purchase or do
And
that.
you got to pound, yeah, you pound them in different areas, right? You're on TV watching an ad, right? And then later it knows your social media activity. You searched for a thing, and then later you get retargeted with an ad off Google about that thing. And it's just all these points until you're like, yes. It's an emotional process that most people don't know they're even going through.
Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, I do need that.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I've been wanting this. Yeah.
and you've been wanting it because they've basically planted that idea in your mind earlier that you didn't even realize. That's why you've been wanting it. Yeah.
And then if you can't afford it, you're like, you use your credit card or take out a loan or you do something to extend your, because you don't have the funds. So you
You
extend
don't
what
have
you
the
can't do.
funds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do it on credit. So you
Which
have this
that's a whole,
imaginary, yeah. So now you have this imaginary money you're kind of playing with that's just kind of like,
and you're always going to be paying, like, for now, especially with the interest rates where they're at now, and you're just going to be paying it back. And we discussed in the other episode the recent, like, what is it? I guess not resurgence. It's like the emergence of the buy now pay later stuff,
oh, right,
because
right.
there's so many companies under that now. Even PayPal's doing it now. I've even seen it on my banking app,
Oh,
where
wow.
you can now, yeah, it's everywhere now. And that's the newest form of debt. We've always known about the credit card debt and all the other types. That's like the newest form of debt that's causing issues.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, obviously that's more modern day form of debt that's causing lots of problems. And going back to the debt thing, I wanted to kind of touch on one thing. We were talking about like the car centric cities, right? Because they've designed the
Yeah.
sprawl, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where you're forced to get into a car, but by having to buy a car, especially today, you're forced to drive a car because of the way we've designed the infrastructure. So now you got to buy a car. And usually when you buy a car, you got to get into debt. And then you now need that car to go to work. And now you
Mm-hmm.
have all that debt. So that means that you need to go to work. And they're learning that the tie between people that have the most debt are actually better workers, because you're always trying to catch up to your debt. They're less likely to quit and more likely to comply to the companies, they've learned. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And they're less likely to ask for benefits and bonuses and things because they just want to like work.
Survive.
Yeah, survive. It's just a survival thing.
But it was programmed from the
Rock the
beginning.
boat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. Yeah, yeah.
With everything they've done, from the infrastructure to the predatory advertising, it's all programmed, and
And then
we're
you get
kind of
locked
in
in.
it.
Yeah. And you get locked in and then you're in that cycle. So then you just become part of part of the system, part of the
It's a
cycle.
cycle. And to get out of that cycle, right, to disconnect from that system is really, really difficult once you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're in. And this is also assuming, obviously, debt can be used in a very smart way if you know how
Oh
to
yeah.
use it. It
That is,
can.
yeah.
And there are many, many people that don't use it. They pay their bills each month with their salary. They live within their means. So I don't want to say that's not happening, but a lot more people now, more than ever, are not. I think we're close to $20 trillion in consumer debt in the U.S. Just insane, the
Right.
amount of consumer debt. People taking out loans for small things, payday loans. Oh my God,
Yeah.
800% interest rate stuff. That's crazy that's even legal. Those are the worst types. Those are the cash loan places.
Mm-hmm.
The
They
worst
just take
type.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, you take out $300 because you can't get groceries that month, and you end up paying 1,500.
See, that's the problem right there. You know what I mean? Just that statement alone. It's like, yeah. Yeah, it should be, yeah, I don't know. Like, food should be the way that they profit on food. It's kind of crazy. Because, I mean, that should be like something that people should be able to afford, right?
Yeah, even the issue right now with fast food, how fast food traditionally was always kind of like the poor man's kind of food. They can go and get it, and you can eat. The people in lower socioeconomic classes, that's what they would eat. But even now,
Well, that's
fast food
$15 easily. Yeah.
crazy numbers now, and there's no fucking employees. Some of these McDonald's, they just got fucking screens now. You just walk
Yeah.
in and you just,
What are they doing?
it's like, where's the money? Like that, why are we getting charged this much if you don't even have people working?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder about that stuff. I don't know if it's purely a cost thing. I think that companies see shifts in economic environments, and I think they just take advantage of that. They're like, well, costs are rising. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
know about that. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
less employees, but you're raising the prices too. It's like,
The labor is usually the most of any of it. That's
yeah,
because you got to pay workers a good
hmm
wage so they can survive, which then raises our costs. It's all really connected. It's interesting to watch sometimes. You just kind of see people go throughout their days, but I don't think they fully realize, what's really happening as they're buying stuff and they buy it again and they're buying this now. And they got to buy this and like their friend got this car and so they got to get this car because it's better
hmm
than his. And it's like you're just programmed.
What happens when people stop spending and just start like not
Mm.
consuming as much?
It's a good question. I mean, there would be definitely an economic hit for sure.
I
It's
think
what makes
some sort
our
of recession.
Right. It's what makes our world really kind of go round is
Yeah,
you got to buy more. I mean, that does happen though, through periods of basically spending is down during a recession. People are not spending enough. And so the Fed will just keep moving rates to make people spend more. And then when they start spending too much and supply can't keep up with the demand and they got to, okay, it's always this
mhm,
back and forth thing. But that's how I feel I guess under that government. I
uh,
just feel like when you're there, tying into this as well. I feel like they are kind of just like these puppeteers, and
right.
we all have to just respond to what they're saying for us to do. And I don't know,
You know, like
makes me just want to disconnect from all of it, honestly.
I know. Yeah, what's crazy too is like just the word recession. Like if the public and the majority like thought of like, oh, there's a recession, like that could cause a recession.
Yeah, the
Do you know what
perception
I'm
of it
saying?
happening,
Yeah,
yeah, can
yeah.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Because they're gonna like stop spending. If you have majority of people stop spending because they think there's a recession, but there's not, it could trigger a recession.
Yeah,
Something like where, yeah.
which it definitely hurts the economy. Yeah, people are not spending.
Which,
It hurts the economy overall, but then people are saving more, which is good, I guess. But it's like we need that balance. We do need a balance there. I think right now we're not in a balance. We're nowhere near it of people getting into debt over basic food items.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like that, the lower middle class, maybe those are the ones that are being affected the most, where they have to do that, right? So they're just
Yeah,
spending. They're consuming on necessities primarily and things that they need.
yeah,
Unless you get a
yeah,
stimulus check and then you see a spike in 2020 where people like purchase things
yeah.
because
We
there's extra
might
money.
we might get something like that again. We might not. That has its
But
own
it's the
repercussions though later though. When you
right,
print all
right,
that money, there's going to be
right,
consequences down the
right.
road
But
with
then you
that.
have the upper class for the 1% or the 10, whatever. They're the ones that are spending more. I mean, they make more, but they're the ones that are driving like a big chunk of the economy.
That's a really good point. Yeah, they're the most of the advertisers in big companies are now focused on that one segment of people now because they know they
Yeah,
can spend
like
the
the
most. But
luxury. Yeah,
the argument against that is that well, you're preying mainly on them and also anyone else really, but because you know that they can spend more,
well, it
right?
makes it feel like and look like the United States is becoming more for the rich and the wealthy than the average American Joe person.
Definitely. Yeah, the income inequality is crazy.
Yeah, it's become more catered to the rich, the ones that are wealthy, the ones that have the money that can buy the nice expensive stuff and do the things to help keep the economy where it's at, really. I
Right,
mean,
but
if they
then now you're
uh,
focused on just that group though, when in reality, if you
I'm not.
invested
Yeah.
no, not you, but them, but if in reality, if you can kind of go and focus on the middle and the lower class, you can build them up where they can have the purchasing power to go and buy your shit. But they're
Yeah.
not doing that. That's more of a long-term approach. They're like, no, these people have money now. Let's focus on them. And we know that they're going to continue spending. The ultra wealthy, I mean, what else are they going to put their money toward? They got to keep buying shit.
I mean, that's what yeah, they have the money, so they're just buying stuff.
Yes, buying stuff. I'm trying to think of the few other points here that I was
I
reading
think,
about.
I think Yeah, and I think the big thing kind of around money and currency is like, yes, we consume a lot. I think there is a certain level or a point at which like you need enough to like survive and your basic necessities and stuff, which depends on like geography, where like country of where you're at. But having like your needs met, anything after that, it's just freeing up time
That's it.
when you have
That's
money.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. buy back your time. I personally, that's what I spend my money on. I spend my money on things that buy back my own time. For example, I get healthy food delivered each week, every day. I don't like to cook, I don't like to clean, and I don't like to shop. These are just things I just don't like. But the amount of time that saves me, where I can just, get a delicious meal, different recipes each time, it's been a game changer. I mean, I don't think I'll ever go. I'll
Those
spend my money on
those
those things.
yeah, those things have really grown in popularity over the last few years.
The amount of time I save
So
is
convenient.
nuts. I save so much time where as opposed to having to cook or go to the grocery, I just
Yeah,
literally whenever I eat my dinner, I just
yeah.
open it.
Because you can see, you pick out the menu of what you want, and then they deliver it to you each week.
Yeah, basically, it's a great service. Anyone here in Colombia should definitely use it. It's called Comida Fit. Comida
Oh,
Fit, and
there's a
great
plug.
recipes. Yeah, good plug. Yeah, uh, great company, very very good business. It's new recipes every single week. So
That's awesome.
I rarely try the same thing. It's always a variation, but it's always within like your macros and your calories
Mhm.
that you want to consume. And it's healthy food, good protein, great vegetable, a decent carb, and I pay for it. You do pay for it though. I mean, you're gonna pay more than if you
Mm.
did if you just went to the store, right?
Right.
Those are the things I'm willing to pay for though, because it does
Yeah.
buy back your time. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's worth it then. Especially
Certain
where you're
things.
at. I mean, it's still cheaper than if you were to go out. Like if
Yeah,
you
the
were,
states it would, for the same service probably about almost 2 times more.
okay,
Yeah,
about
which
double. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not feasible for everyone, to do that in the states, especially.
Mm. Mm.
But I think there's just certain things you're more willing to spend your money on, and I think it's about intent overall. It's like, what's
Mm.
your intent here? Oh, my intent here is to buy back my time because I don't care for these activities, but I want to eat healthy, so I will
Mm.
pay a premium to get these delivered. That was
Mm.
my intent, and I think that intent was from a good place of like, this is the reason why. I think for other people, especially those impulse buys that are going on social media right now,
Mm.
that's a big problem. Apparently, I forget they polled the amount of people that regretted their last purchase off social media, and it was very high because that there's no intent really there per se. You're just scrolling, an ad hits you, hits an
Shiny
emotional trigger, yeah, and it's
object.
so easy. You just bump, purchased, done, and later you're like, oh, I was just scrolling and I saw I don't even remember the ad, and
Right? Gets
that's where
deleted.
I think
You're like, what is this? Yeah.
yeah, that's where I think it's a bit scary. It's like, well, you really didn't have an intent behind that. It was kind of automatic.
Hmm. Yeah. What about those like subscription based things that you sign up for and they're free for like 10 days or 30 days and you forget about it and then now you're on a subscription base that it keeps going until
That's a
you.
good topic for sure. That's a big issue because it just keeps
Yeah.
recurring, and a lot of people forget.
Yeah, and you're just like, I had one happen to me. It was last year. It was like I was looking at my bank statement. It was like 4 or 5 months in a row where I was getting charged like $8 or $9. I'm like,
Mm.
what is this? And I looked into it, and it was like some weird subscription thing that I signed up for. And I was doing the free trial because I wanted to check something out. And I was like,
Ah,
okay, make sure to make sure to
time to
unsubscribe
get
it
you.
when you're done. Yeah, and then later on, I was like, damn,
Damn it, that
that
fucking free trial. It's so
free,
appetizing.
that free trial cost me like $30 or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's what the
yeah, and that's another nice little form of income they got because it's recurring. It's small, but
yeah.
it's
That's
recurring.
that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the process of going and then you try to go and cancel it.
Oh
You're
yeah.
on
It's a
you're on
whole
a
thing.
website and you're like have to go through 5 screens to get to the fucking yes, cancel. God damn it. Because you're
We're
like, are
done
you
now.
sure? Are you sure? Because we now have this new offer. You get 3 months free. Like, yeah, I'm sure. And then you hit click that little tiny link that says, no, I don't want it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. You're like, it's so
How
small.
many how many people do you think it gets when it does that? When it pops up that second offer of
I bet
like,
they have good recovery on it. I mean,
uh,
they wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work.
right? If they're giving you an extra month or 3 months free,
Right.
yeah.
Some of them it is worth it because there's been times where I was like, do I really need this? I kind of use it, but not really. And then when they give you a really good offer, you're like, Okay.
Yeah, I could keep it. Sure.
Yeah. There's others that I'm like, I want to can't. You have to go through a couple screens, and it's like it's progressively kind of makes you feel worse. It's like if you choose the other option, it's like, yes, I do want my life transformed is the button to keep it. And it's like, no, I'm a piece of shit and I'm a
Yeah.
loser. Oh, well, I mean, I'm not, but I would have canceled. Can I just hit no? Like, can you
Yeah.
just hit no?
We have your dog for ransom.
Yeah,
Muscle boys.
yeah, if you don't ever see your dog again, that's fine. You can hit no.
That's on you. Yeah. You did this.
Those are funny though. They're called
So on.
cancellation funnels. They're so funny because each one just like makes you feel worse and worse for hitting no. You're like, I do want to cancel, but I'm a good person, right?
I feel bad now. Yeah.
So you're not a good
You guys
person.
weren't that bad. I just don't want to keep paying.
Shit. And then yeah, I mean outside of the modern debt, going into that and people consuming, so they get into debt and cycle out of that, and
Because that's big cycle
it's
of
getting worse and worse. And I saw a thing going back to kind of the buy now pay later stuff that's been popping up. It was an interesting take on it because I mean I've been hearing about people, you get a jacket at a store, it's $200, but you pay 4 easy payments, and it's maybe $50, right, per payment. A lot of people aren't finishing their payments though. That's the problem. And those companies are now experiencing heavy losses because people are not paying their full amount. And the interesting part that I didn't know about is a lot of those losses that they're incurring are getting fed back into the product's price because they're losing money. So actually, in a way, we're all losing for this happening. Does that make sense?
That's crazy.
Fucking sucks. Yeah.
It sucks. Like,
It
what?
sucks. I'm not even a part of this. And they're like, oh, we got to raise prices because we're losing all this money on all these people that are trying to finance a jacket.
Yeah.
And they are losing. That all of those businesses are in losses right now. Big losses.
Now jacket prices are up because of that. It's like,
yes, that's what they're saying now is happening. It's this big. It's like as of now, July 2025. It's kind of like the newest form of debt that people need to really watch out for, and it's going to start hitting your FICO credit score, right? These types of because it's so easy. I've never used. I don't know if you ever seen them. You just go to any website and it's like you can pay with a card, but right there, it's like, oh, you just 4 easy payments. It's so small. You're like, yeah, it's right there. Just click that. Click that.
I think it's actually been getting bigger, I think, over time.
So I meant like small in payment. Yeah, but no, as far as the option they want you to do, fuck yeah, it's fucking huge. They're pointing you right to it. They're probably
Like,
burying the credit card
right
thing.
here.
Click it. And you're like, well, I want to pay with the credit card. Are you sure?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah. Just don't worry about it. We got it, and then you just pay later.
It's so predatory. It's such an emotional process to buy it that people are just like, I just want that fucking jacket. Like, yeah, fam, whatever I need to do. And then I'll deal with the consequences later. And I guess that's just the world we're going to live in for a while now.
Yeah.
But yes.
I don't think that's going away.
No, it's not going away. So I think probably now more than ever, people need to be a little more educated on, financial literacy overall, understanding what ads are doing when they're doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully being a little more aware of what's happening, right? Before you click buy. Like, do you really need that? Like, do you really need it? Or is it just an impulse buy to potentially make you feel better maybe? I know people go on shopping sprees just because they've had a bad week.
They just go shopping, make them feel better.
Kind of seeking that out. Yeah, like they call it retail therapy. I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's probably not a good way to. I feel like that's like just covering up or masking what's really going on.
Exactly. It's just probably a form of escapism that people are using.
Yeah. Like drinking, right, or like some other form of activity or whatever that takes your mind away to escape from your week or your responsibilities, right?
Yeah, processing those emotions in the first place would be better before you open your phone and start scrolling and get that ad, because now you're gonna, whatever you're seeking, that good emotion, you're gonna get that through that impulse purchase, and it's gonna make you feel good for like, I don't know, 30 seconds after you buy. Probably when you get it in the mail, you probably feel good for a day, and then it's just right back to it.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you purchase, as soon as it's like purchased, it's kind of the feeling goes away, like shortly after.
Yeah, the thrill of the buy.
The buy.
I think a good little.
Crazy to think how the education system was designed to put people to work, right? Because funnel them through, get them into work,
Yeah.
and then through that advertise and make money off of them through this whole process and using debt to like
Get them
finance.
into debt so they
Yeah.
buy the thing, so that
So
they
now there's
continue to be loyal to the company because they're in
uh,
so much debt and they don't have other opportunities. They have to work to pay off the debt that the system basically programmed you into.
yeah.
End to end.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty enlightening. I don't know how many people would find this interesting, but I do. I think you do too.
It's very
I
interesting.
guess a good question here. I'm going to kind of wrap up here with this question. So I think the biggest thing here is, yeah, this is a pretty deep question, but how much of our lives are actually real and how much of it is just marketing to create the lives and the experiences that we have?
Mm-hmm.
Is it from our own accord, or is it actually marketing that's driving us to do all of these things?
That is a good question. I would say like a vast majority of our decisions and things that we like subconsciously aren't aware of that we're being like seeded and programmed throughout the day in our lives, that the marketing has made an impact, like a major impact on how we operate day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if without that, you wouldn't know these brands and these different things where it wouldn't be, you would just need your necessities, right? Of like food, shelter, transportation,
And be
but
content with those
and be
things.
content with those
That
things.
that
Exactly.
part is important there because I think that's part of the programming of making you feel not content with what you have.
Yes. Like you don't have enough and you are not, the best or whatever, and you need to improve it to get this whatever product to make you feel better, to make you this or make you that.
It's a fine line because there's definitely products that have improved my life, but I think it all
Oh
comes
yeah.
back to the intent of of why you're buying it. Are you trying to escape and fill a hole with a thing, or do you actually need this product that could solve a problem for you that you might have?
Right. I don't think many people think that way.
No. And
I
I
think
think
it's
that's what they want. The companies want this. When we start to think, which comes back to kind of what Rockefeller was doing, it's like when we start to think for ourselves independently, we can kind of go off the track, go off the simulation, if you will, that they've kind of designed for us to be inside. The
basically, yeah.
powers that be, powers that be.
But yeah, I do believe though that I mean, from the moment I mean, since what it's been 100 years or so since all of this has kind of started and where it's at today. I'd say
Yes.
around that. So everybody alive today has been through. I mean, that they've. We live in a world where it's like advertising and marketing. We've only known that like prior to that, we don't even know what that world felt like. Imagine a
Right.
world where you're not getting bombarded in ads and all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And you're making your own decisions, doing your own thing. But now you're born into a world and you live in this world where everything is like constantly at your getting your attention, grabbing you, doing this, doing that. And then now today more than ever with our phones and different
It's
devices
now
that we
advanced. It's
have.
advanced now with the phone. The social media stuff. It's just what is it? Lighter fluid
Oh
on
yeah,
a fire. That's all it is now because it's so accessible. It's just right here. And now
right.
you don't
They've
have to put
just set it
cash
up.
down. It's
Yeah.
connected to your card. And you're like done.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean,
You don't have to wait for people to get home to like watch TV and see all the ads, commercial ads during the prime time hours of like late night or evening time. Now you can
right.
just put ads anywhere.
Wherever you want, we're gonna watch it. And if you're consuming it, like people, I think there was a line that was, I forget who said it years ago, and social media kind of came around, is that basically what was the line? It was like it's the product the product is not social media, right? The social media is free. Basically you're the product. Like you're the reason why that thing even exists, because if you didn't consume it, advertisers wouldn't advertise on there if you're not
Yeah.
on there. So
Right. Right.
you're basically the product. You are, as
Yeah.
you consume.
They're
So
taking that data.
and then the data just feeds back into other areas. And that's not to say don't be on social media. I think it's more of just having the awareness of what's happening when it's happening. That's probably the first step, is just have a little bit of awareness of what is happening. If you want to buy it, but have some intent behind it, not emotionally buying just to make me feel better for 30 seconds. And then you're like, well,
Mm,
I still feel the same after I bought that. And now my
yeah,
bank account's down.
yeah. Shouldn't have bought
Yeah.
that new boat.
Yeah. Well, this was an interesting one. Really kind of explored why people are buying so much shit these days, just more and more. And the
A lot
short
of
of it,
waste.
we're programmed to it. And yeah, it's producing lots of waste as well.
So
That's a
much
whole other
waste.
topic in itself,
Yeah,
really, how much it's producing
we can
with
go over
that.
that another time. That is yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
of all the
Well,
stuff we consume and purchase, I mean, eventually it winds up in
it's going to wind up in a landfill somewhere and it's not going to be recycled. And then you'll have
it'll
plastic
be,
in the ocean. And
yes,
then
it all leads
it'll,
to the ocean.
yeah, it'll hurt the ocean life, obviously, out there. And
The
some
planet as a
sad
whole.
things.
Yeah,
The
I feel
planet
like
as
we
a whole.
stand on
Guys,
this.
I was just saying, on the planet as a whole, it's all over, guys. We're all done. So hope you enjoyed listening. It's been a really good one. I wish I could tell you what we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk about something interesting in the next ep, but it's a surprise. So y'all will have to wait.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I know.
I like surprises.
All righty, people. Until
All
next
right.
time.
Till next time.